Hello everyone and welcome to Solshow. Today we're talking about a movie titled Bird Box. This film is about the apocalypse because we just are obsessed with seeing movies about how the world is gonna destroy itself one day. Isn't it a fun idea? This film specifically is about a woman who during this time period is locked up in her house. She doesn't get outside. She got pregnant. She got knocked up. The guy left. She's MIA. And now she's like, fuck it, I'll just live indoors for the rest of time. And my sister will bring me groceries. And that's what her sister does. She just walks in, gives her groceries, admires her creepy paintings about loneliness and how she has an inability to connect to people. And that's where our film begins. Because suddenly, people all around the world are killing themselves. If you've never seen The Happening, it's basically just like that. But rather than plants be our antagonist of choice, in this film there are monsters. And we see these monsters. But rather than plants being our antagonist of choice, this film has monsters. These monsters basically upon sight will make you kill yourself, or in the case that you are either evil or crazy or it's not fully explained. If you're one of these rare breeds, you kind of keep your sanity a little bit, but you're an obsessed sociopath and psychopath who only lives to make other people see these creatures. So if you just want to hole up Dawn of the Dead style somewhere, you're going to be found by these crazy motherfuckers and they're going to make you open your eyes and kill yourself. And yeah, that is a super interesting concept for a movie, and we really get to have two different takes on it because this film has an A plot and a B plot, basically taking about like 5 years apart. The initial plot, the A plot, is right after when this all starts happening. There's a group of survivors who are all living in a house together. Another one that's also pregnant. There's this really asshole guy. There's your young couple that's always going to be in these. It's basically like Dawn of the Dead. There's your old woman character. There's the black charisma character who may or may not be a romance. And of course we got good old Sandra, the main lead, who this is one of her most interesting roles, and she has a lot of interesting roles, but this one in particular I thought had such a inner personality and such a deep void inside of her that you could feel at all times. Keep in mind that not only is she embracing the outside world all at once, she is seeing her sister go through some terrible shit, she's living with a bunch of fucking strangers, and at the same time she's keeping her head up. She is able to adapt, she is able to get into these social environments with these other characters, and each of these characters are in their own world, they're in their own space, they're dealing with the apocalypse in their own way, and she will adapt and may or may not connect with them. The ones she does connect with may or may not die. And sure, this movie is basically A Quiet Place Part 2, but rather than not being able to speak and hear no evil, we are seeing no evil because we are literally blind, which feels a lot more vulnerable than in A Quiet Place because our characters do not know what the fuck they are doing. But blind people, very much like our main character, have a social barrier that they have to get across where they cannot see the person they are talking to. They cannot connect in the ways that an average person can. And our main character has that inability as well, and towards the end of the movie she is looking after these children, and that is what she is trying to overcome. She's trying to connect to these children so she can keep them alive. And that is our B plot, by the way. The B plot that takes place 5 years in the future. She is looking after these two children. We are vaguely sure that one of them is her kid because she was pregnant earlier in the film. And we have to make sure that these kids survive. And basically it becomes one of those The River kind of movies where we're trying to get to the end of a river and survive rapids and crazy people and all this shit. And this movie is nail-biting. It is a intense thriller with so many components that are just thrown at you, so many new characters that could be any type of crazy, so many new monster ideas that are gonna like keep your head spinning, like what do these fucking things look like, which this might be a slight spoiler, but we don't actually learn what these monsters look like, what their motive is, anything. we very much like the main characters are blind. We are watching this film from the perspective of characters who don't know what these monsters look like. So, in some cases, I'm upset whenever I don't figure out what the monsters look like. In this case, however, I was a little bit more understanding. And they do kind of give hints throughout the film that they're basically, they could be manifestations of what we're most afraid of. They could take on all these forms that may or may not be like evil gods, and even if they are gods or something, in a number of religions, if you look at a sacred being of God, you fucking die. So in this case, it's not wrong. This is just, yeah, if this is God that we're looking at, then yeah, maybe this would be what happened. Because a lot of these people that are seeing these creatures are saying, oh my God, they're so beautiful, you have to look, and that's why they're prying their eyes open like that. That is crazy, and it makes your head start spinning, and I actually like the fact that they don't tell us at the end of the day. So yeah, this film had a lot of interesting things going on. We had these two A and B plots, both of them really intense, really interesting. I like the A plot a little bit better, but the B plot was just as intense. It was a really gripping movie. Standout performances by everybody. We had fucking characters we had child actors to Machine Gun Kelly to the one brother cousin character from Get Out. All of these characters could have blended terribly together, but it worked out. It became a super fun and interesting thriller movie, and I will say I love this film. It turned out great. And that is why I'm going to give an 8 out of 10 and a soul badge of approval. Anyway guys, you can scroll down below if you would like to type in some comments and tell me how trash my opinion is. You may also click on the other videos to the side, enjoy some more beautiful video content, and until next time, with that, I leave you.